It's time for a death battle!
Rewritten.
Simone the Digger, Wile E. Coyote, the fastest and furriestest of the Looney Tunes.
Fueled by its pilot's willpower and capable of making any weapon they can imagine.
Including missiles, a jetpack, a sunglasses boomerang, and of course,
Drills! Wrist-mounted drills, kunai drills, shield drills, kamehameha drills, and everyone's favorite, the Giga Drill Bureku! Remember how Gurren Lagann runs on fighting spirit? Turns out that's just a manifestation of spiral power, an energy that all spiral beings, like humans, have.
Pulling spiral power lets you constantly adapt to threats, no matter how overwhelming. Simone can create portals to different realities and higher dimensions. He can generate force fields, absorb energy attacks, and even merge Gurren Lagann with bigger and stronger machines.
Creating the Arc Gurren Lagann, which is strong enough to shatter space and time with a punch.
Or the Super Galaxy Gurren Lagann, which can fire lasers that are fast enough to hit, and I quote, all time, space, and dimensions, all within a Planck instant.
That's the smallest unit of time physically possible.
Meaning each laser would have to be moving 4.6 times 10 to the 117th power times faster than light.
Oh, and the guidebook says they hit an innumerable number of enemies across infinite universes. You literally cannot calculate how fast that is.
But it wasn't enough to escape the Anti-Spiral's greatest trap, the Multiverse Labyrinth, an attack that imprisons Simone in his own unique multiverse, forced to experience an infinite number of alternate realities that controlled his mind, permanently arresting him in a dream world.
Except Simone and his spiral power are just built different, and after being inspired by his bro, Simone absorbed that whole multiverse to escape.
What makes this even more impressive is that this labyrinth was 11-dimensional, meaning Simone absorbed a higher dimensional structure several orders of infinity greater than himself. The jump between dimensions is basically infinite. Each new dimension adds a new direction of space that extends infinitely, thus an infinite gap in size and scope.
It happened.
Because when Simone absorbed the multiverse labyrinth, he merged with every alternate universe version of himself, including an alternate universe Simone who is writing his own alternate universe version of Gurren Lagann. And that author's spiral power made his fictional Simone real, adding another to the mix. This all gave our Simone enough spiral power to form the next step in mecha evolution, Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann.
This is when Gurren Lagann gets actually fucking crazy. Like shooting missiles that alter probability so they have a 100% chance of hitting you, or tossing galaxies around like frisbees. Sorry, did I say galaxies? I meant universes.
Simone's power was so immense that he started generating super spiral space, a higher dimension encompassing our own universe.
With it, Simone turns his thoughts into reality, letting him create his mech and all of its weapons in the first place.
Not only does this mean he no longer needs co-pilots, he can also regenerate any damage done to him or his mech just by willing it back into existence.
Like when Lord Genome used spiral power to survive quantum breakdown, or the time Nia used spiral power to constantly regenerate her body from being erased at the informational level for 7 days straight.
Information in physics is essentially the ones and zeros that make up every possible outcome in reality. Nia literally regenerated from the statistical certainty of her own destruction. This was not enough for the anti-spiral. Simone evolved one more time
into Super Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann!
This mech is so big, its size is literally incalculable. And with a drill somehow even larger than that, Simone and his friends shattered the anti-spiral once and for all.
When that blue meeping bastard can make beams of light look stone still, or outrun a car that was moving fast enough to travel through time.
Frankly, it's incredible that Wile E manages to consistently keep up with his prey at all. But he does.
No, really, it's actually stated that only a, quote, tiny little extra burst of speed separates the coyote and the roadrunner. Heck, Bugs Bunny himself needed to take super speed supplements in order to move fast enough to outrun Wile E.
Difference.
He's got your classics like dynamite, anvils, and spring-loaded boxing gloves, along with heavier artillery like heat-seeking missiles, a 10 billion volt electromagnet, and a friggin' trebuchet, a Reddit favorite.
Many of which he invented himself and uses in excruciatingly detailed schemes that inevitably go awry. Despite being a self-described super genius, Wile E has an officially measured IQ of 3. Those were fake, but he's still an idiot. He's got an Acme Book of Magic, Acme Clone-O-Matic, Acme Death Ray, Acme City in a Box, Acme Universal Remote, which can pause, fast forward, and rewind a person through time.
Too bad half the stuff Wily uses is intentionally sabotaged and takes some punishment.
No matter the severity of his failures, Wily is still a toon and can bounce back from just about anything.
He's been sliced, stabbed, squashed, exploded, melted, blasted into a constellation, and overall verbed for the last 87 years straight without ever actually dying. He once got fully disintegrated into ash and popped back up like it was nothing. Also shattered the fourth wall tons of times and even left the comic page entirely to catch the Roadrunner.
Loony DNA. Every toon's got it, not just the loony ones. And it's what lets them survive fatal damage up to being fully erased off the page, essentially dictating their personal slice of reality to whatever is funny.
Like how gravity only affects the coyote when he looks down.
Toons are immune to the laws of physics as we know them.
That's why Wily developed a counter to this immortality, the Loony DNA Dissolver, which leaves toons vulnerable to fatal wounds the same way we are.
Actual power system, with more experienced toons like Wily who are more powerful than their younger counterparts.
And that means Wily should be capable of replicating feats and abilities performed by any other Looney Tune, like traveling between different mediums or altering the plot of the cartoon he's in.
And my favorite was the time Plucky Duck used Marvin the Martian's matter transmogrifier to suck up the entire universe.
And then suck up the animator animating his universe.
And then suck up the animator's universe for good measure.
Help stop a meteor from destroying Earth, beat the Monstars in basketball, to say it. God is just plain out to get this guy.
Jones established several rules for their animated shorts that superseded Coyote's reality warping toon abilities.
Rules that cover his obsession, faulty products, and the fact that no outside force, not even the Roadrunner, is to blame for his defeat. Just him.
While other creatives have altered this formula in the decades since Jones's departure, these rules have effectively made the Coyote's defeats cosmically ordained.
God nerfed Wile E. Coyote.
Wily could keep up with the Roadrunner, who could outspeed a car fast enough to travel through time. That's immeasurably fast. Simone can hit an infinite number of targets all at once, and Kyle can fly fast enough to surpass the normal concept of speed itself.
When you control space and time, things like strength and speed kind of become irrelevant.
The Multiverse Labyrinth, he merged with every alternate universe version of himself, including an alternate universe Simone who is writing his own alternate universe version of Gurren Lagann. And that author's spiral power made his fictional Simone real. He can also regenerate any damage done to him or his mech just by willing it back into existence.
Spiral power to constantly regenerate her body from being erased at the informational level.
Literally regenerated from the statistical certainty of her own destruction.
Also shattered the fourth wall tons of times and even left the comic page entirely to catch the
like Wily, who are more powerful than their younger counterparts.
And that means Wily should be capable of replicating feats and abilities performed by any other Looney Tune, like traveling between different mediums or altering the plot of the cartoon he's in.
And my favorite was the time Plucky Duck used Marvin the Martian's matter transmogrifier to suck up the entire universe.
And then suck up the animator animating his universe.
And then suck up the animator's universe for good measure.
Like how gravity only affects the coyote when he looks down.
Toons are immune to the laws of physics as we know them.
That's why Wily developed a counter to this immortality, the Loony DNA Dissolver, which leaves toons vulnerable to fatal wounds the same way we are.